Today I want to talk a little bit about what to do about those copycats out there. And what am I talking about by copycats? I am talking about people that use your brand name, your slogan, maybe a product name to basically piggyback off of the goodwill that you have achieved with that trademark, because that's what we're talking about here is trademark infringers. That's who those copycats are. And anytime that somebody is using your mark, and again, that can be your brand name. You can think Nike. It could be a logo like the Nike swoosh. It could be a slogan like just do it. Any of those types of things are things that can be trademarked because they're considered source identifiers. And if somebody copies your source identifier for the same products or services, someone's going to think that you're the source of that person's products or services when you're not, and that other person's going to make money off of it, which is not cool. So those trademark infringers, how do you approach that? You probably want to go guns blazing and go in there and tell them they're infringing and you're going to take them to court. But in my experience, that's not the most effective way to deal with these folks. The reason for that is that sometimes you might not have your trademark registered, so you're not on as strong a footing as you might think, which common law versus USPTO registration and what rights those give you, check out my other trademark videos for that. But that's one reason. Maybe you don't have the strongest legal footing that you might think you do. Also, they might not know about you. It could be a totally innocent mistake. Maybe your slogan or your brand name is just so good for the products or services you sell that they came up with it too, but they came up with it after you, which means you have stronger rights to it. Or perhaps you just don't want to pick a fight like that right off the bat. Maybe this company using your mark, maybe they've got a whole team of lawyers and they're willing to take it to court. And so if you go in guns blazing and you are super harsh, they might run right to court, and then you're wrapped up in a really expensive and really time-consuming legal battle that probably nobody wants to be dealing with. So my recommendation is that you're always going to do better by reaching out sort of casually, informally, and kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt to start with. Some kind of message maybe on social media if you can't find their contact information, or via email that just essentially says, hey, maybe you didn't know about me. I've been using this mark for a lot longer than you, and you're starting to confuse my customers. You're confusing consumers, which is the whole reason for trademark law. And then maybe they'll change the brand, the slogan, the logo, because they didn't know about you. And maybe they won't. Maybe you reach out, you're super nice, and they are a total asshole. Well, you know what? I always say that you can always be a dick later. So if you reach out and you're very nice and casual first, and they come back and they tell you to pound sand and they're just being total jerks, well, then it's time to write that super official cease and desist letter on your lawyer's letterhead that cites all of the law and tells them how much trouble they're going to be in if you go to court. And then from there, different conversation about how to settle those, how to resolve it if they don't listen to you. But this video's focus is really trying to encourage you to reach out to these folks in a very not aggressive, not adversarial way. It is time and time again that I see people have better results by reaching out like that rather than reaching out guns blazing, total scorched earth approach, because people tend to dig their heels in when someone comes in aggressive and tells them what to do. So when you find someone infringing on your trademark or your copyright, this works for that too, definitely better to reach out first, informally. You should have your lawyer look at this informal message just to make sure you're not putting your foot in your mouth legally some way or another. And then hopefully, by creating that rapport and sort of establishing that you're not trying to attack these people and you're not super aggressive, they're going to be more willing to accommodate your request and change their branding or their logo or their trademark. So hopefully this is helpful anytime you see a copycat out there using your brand or your logo. I have another video on what happens when someone reaches out to you. So watch that one if you've received one of these really harsh cease and desist or even one of these sort of friendly reach outs, because there's a lot of strategy involved with dealing with potential trademark infringement. So hopefully this was helpful. Talk to you again soon.